Okay, guys, let's talk about pet waste removal, pooper scooper, professional pooper scooping. Um, People ask me, how much money can you make from it? Um, you can make a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a long ride. It's a hard ride. It's a long push. You can't be a quitter, but you got to be willing to take the loss. You have to be able to take the investment, and the investment being so. I started Okay, let me tell you what I started with and how much I could have started with if I was smart. So I went out, got hats, magnets, t-shirts, buckets, rake, sanitizer, sunk, I don't know, stupid money into Facebook ads. Um, the insurance through the pet sitter's insurance was like $300. You had to pay a year in advance. So there was $300. The bucket's like $20. The cultivator rake is like 17, 15, 17. A box of bags you can get for like $14 at Home Depot, Costco's. You can get 200 bags for like $14 at Costco's. I already had a membership, so that wasn't an issue. They are the cheapest bags. Note, you do want to check the MIL. I don't know what that means. I'm not that smart to know, but zero 0.9 or 0.90 is what you want. Anything less than that, when you're scooping poop, it will fall through the bag. I bought some that were like a 0.3, and they're like little thin trash can liners. I got like 1,000 of them for like $100. I was like, oh, I got the best deal ever, and I pulled them out, and they're these little bitty trash can liners. I use them at the office here now. Yeah, I'm gonna have bags forever on that. Um, the website, my website was only about $15. They gave you the first month free of the designer thing for it. I used GoDaddy. But then it was like $200 for the first year. So a lot of things I did, you had to pay the first year in advance. So in the startup, I think I was at about $800. By the time I got flyers and I got business cards, I got a 1877 number, my Google Voice number, which was free. Um, and then just going in I didn't count my time going into all these veterinary offices and posting in Facebook groups and trying to do Facebook ads, not knowing what I was doing. So what I could have started with, a couple magnets, one shirt, bucket rake, sanitizer. And I really didn't even need the magnets. I've seen people do just chalk on the back of their car until they made a little bit of money. Um, I didn't use the yard book software the first month. I used Square. I remember my first month was like, I don't know, 10 invoices. It took me like 20 minutes to put them all together and send them. Well, now I do close to 400 invoices now. There's no way I'm manually doing that. So I didn't start paying for Yardbook. I think I found Yardbook maybe a little bit after that. So I started punching my customers' information in there, and I'm glad I did, because it got really big really fast. And then up till probably, I don't know, maybe 100, 115 customers, we would go through and count how many we did, because they didn't have an auto generate. But that's, you can ask my daughter about that. She'll be like, oh yeah. My daughter knows like the first 100, 115 customers. I can give her a name. She can tell me an address. She can tell me a price. Like, she knows, because we manually wrote them down, and I built an individual invoice for every single customer and sent them. And now there's an auto generate, which saves me so much time. So you could start this business with $100. I've always said, and I'll always say, don't expect to get rich quick. Your average yard's about $15. So, we'll do 15 at 10. It's probably backwards, but 150. Yeah. So $600 minus gas, is about what I came up with for about the first month. And you pick customers up, you're picking up more and more and more. Um, I'm close to. The problem is when you get. We're going through this Corona right now, so I don't know if anybody's watching this later in the future. But right now, we're in the summer of 2020. It's Corona. I had about 30, 35 customers that went on hold. Well, I don't mark them inactive. So in my system, I don't mark them as an inactive where they're put out of my sheet, out of my main page. They're still on my main page, so I can pull them up and restart services. Um, so like my main page shows like 420, 430. So we're, estimating without me individually counting, I can tell you how many tickets we're closing. We're closing almost 1,700 tickets a month. And that's monthly, weeklies, every other week. We got a few that are 3 times a week, a lot that are twice a week, a lot that are monthly. A lot that are once a week. So we close, it's a big number now, and it's the money potential is up to you. So when I say, so you get this, okay, I'm going to open up a poop scooper business. Okay, cool. Do your due diligence. Do your research. And I'm going to tell you, watch everybody's videos. Understand this is not a fast growing business. You're not gonna boom, get 100 customers. I originally set a goal for 15 customers a month. I talked to a few people that used to scoop in this town. They said, oh yeah, that can be done. That can be done. In the beginning, I never got 15 customers a month. It took me a year and a half before I got over that mark. And I was like, whoo, my record month for new signups is only 50. And that's during the winter months down here. That's our busy time. People don't want to scoop in the winter up here. Summertime, they're fine. And most of the time, once they get used to us, they enjoy it. I offer auto pay. The system, we offer auto pay weekly. We offer auto pay by the month. I do give a discount, for 6 months of prepay or a year of prepay. So the money potential is there, but it's all in how hard you want to work. I worked a full-time job doing pest control during the day, and then I had a nighttime courier route. So my vehicle had miles on it. Like, that was nothing about it. It was already, and so I was scooping poop out of it on the weekends. And then I was working my day job, worked my night job, which was only a 4 to 6 hour run, just depending on what it was. On Saturdays, I had a run from Louisville, Kentucky to just north of Cincinnati, Ohio, up in Springboro and back. So that took up a good part of my Saturday. So I would scoop from 7 a.m. to like 11:30. And then at 12, I would start the local route. I'd pick up stuff till like 1:45, meet another driver, take his stuff, and we'd run up and I'd do a relay all the way to Springboro, Ohio, and then come back. And I'd be back around 5. And then I would scoop till, 6, 7, till it started getting dark. And then Sunday I would scoop. And as I started getting busier, I started contracting out parts of that route, And so I was able to sync. All my bills were taken care of just by my my pest control money. What I did in pest control, that paid the bills. That paid everything I needed to pay. My play money was my courier money. So, and then this money that I was making from scooping poop went into billing. I'm not billing, but advertising. Just trying to figure out ways to get my name out there. I did a lot of research. I found SEOs. I found a site called Fiverr where you can pay people. I paid, I think, $30 to this guy to throw 300 SEOs out in the Louisville area here. That's a search engine optimizer where he put my name and business address and all that out there. And that's when Google recognized me, finally. Google finally caught that I was there. Google Ads, I had no clue what I was doing. I was throwing money there that just sunk. The first year I worked 7 months. I made $16,000 in 7 months. I think at the end of the year, it was close to 22,000 in advertising. Like, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just throwing money. Google Ads was hitting me like every other week for like $500, $700. And then doing Facebook ads, I didn't, yeah, you know, I was getting, you know, so do your research on Facebook and Google and understand, you know, um, like money was coming out of my checking account. And I'm like, holy crap, I got to pay this bill or I got to pay that bill. So, you know, we did 16,000 the first year. I think the second year, I can't remember. It's been so long. I know it's only been 3 years. It, I know we doubled. I know that for sure. But either way, so as we've grown, I've grown to close to 400 active accounts. And I have a bunch of them that are just one-time people. They call me up every couple months. They're like, hey, I need it clean. And we've already got a price to negotiate. And I'm like, yep, I'll get you on the route. And I tell them what day we'll be there. And we do it. And I send them an invoice and they pay it. And I won't hear from them. They'll text me a couple months later. Hey, we need a re-clean. Okay, on my way out, There's a bunch of those, which there's one guy I wonder if he moved. I'm going to have to send him a message. I haven't heard from him in about 6 months. But either way, so the money potential is there. It's all going to depend on the area you live in. You're going to hear stories from everybody, especially if you get into APAWS, APAWS. That is the Association for Pooper Scoopers. If you get into some of the Facebook groups and stuff like that, you're going to hear it's a cat fight some days. Some people are going to say, oh, I got this and I did that and I did this. And well, you don't know what they did to get what they got. I lucked out and had 2 different companies. I had one company that was a franchise. They moved out to Texas. I got about 50 of those customers. That was pretty easy. They just called me and I was like, okay, yep. And my prices were similar to what the franchise was. And then another guy, he decided to completely get out of the business altogether. So I acquired, I think 37 of his customers. So that boosted me up a little bit later on. That was actually just about a year ago that happened. My average count now going into year 3, this past month we did 17 new customers. Our record month was, I think, in March at 50. We hit January, February, March was 48 to 50, I think, each month. So that really bumped us up. And then, so we're in that level now. And that's the thing I'm going to let everybody, if you're still watching this, you don't quit your job to do this. Okay. You'll get there, but you need to see the seasons. I talked to scoopers that are in Arizona, California, Florida, Michigan, Ontario up in Canada, New York, New Jersey. All of our seasons are different. Like what you think it was going to be, it's not. I was like, okay, I started my company in end of March, early April. I said, boom, we're going to get right in on spring. Everybody's going to want their yards cleaned. I'm going to make some money. No, it didn't happen that way here. Because we don't have harsh winters. When I talked to scoopers up in Michigan, Erica at Crouppen Scoopin, There we go. I love her last name. Lucked out. But they get huge spring cleans. They make some money on spring cleans. And she has to bring on extra staff. Same way with, I believe, Jessica up in Canada. They bring some big time money, but during the winter months, the way it sounds is they kind of die off a little bit. Well, down here more in the South and in Florida, it's just year round. There's not a lot of like spring cleans per se where they're bad. I'm sure there's plenty of bad ones, but where I'm at in Kentucky here, it's, starting in December when it starts kind of getting cold, we start getting some phone calls. People are still scooping their yards every other week. So we might get a bad one every now and then. When January hits, January, February, March, and almost into April, the phones light up. Nobody's been in their yards. The yards gotten bad. We're sending 1-2 scoopers out, to do cleans. So, and then about April to May they die off because now it's now nice out, and they've gotten out there, done the yard work, they've cleaned it or whatever they've done. So we sustain a lot of those customers, and we have a lot that, not a lot, a handful of them, I would say, that they're seasonal, winter only. They only want us out there during the winter. They'll start us up in the fall and they'll run us till spring, and because for them having us come out every other day, obviously we have to charge for that, for bringing a person out. I'll come out there every other day. I'll come out there every day if you want me to, but you're going to pay. You're going to pay for my time. So a lot of people, because they just clean it up as the dog goes because it's nice out. So that's our downfall is, the next couple months, June, July, August, September, we'll kind of die down a little bit. We'll keep a good customer base, but we'll drop a few. We'll gain a few. And then we'll start picking up as it starts getting cooler. But starting your business, couple magnets. Business cards, nobody really uses business cards anymore. They're cool to have. What I originally did was I took a piece of fake poop and I cut out a sliver in it and I slid my business cards in there. And I went to the vet offices with a tray of cookies, little dog bone cookies for all of them. And I laid it on top of them. And I, had some little flyers printed out and explained what we did and some of our pricing. And and I talked with them a few. I said, here, I want you guys to have these. I was like, do you mind, And the girls, they, at the front desk are guys, I'm not going to say just girls work front desk, but there was some guys, different ones I went to. They loved it. They loved it. They laughed. And, I would check on it, every now and then I would check. And, they some of them had a business corner where they had little flyers and pamphlets for the local pet businesses around, and there was my pile of poop with my business cards in them. So you catch more flies with honey than vinegar. So a little small investment there towards, getting cookies or cupcakes or, and just going in there and just introducing yourself and just saying, hey, look, start up pet waste management business, So I introduce myself, if you hear of anybody that might need us, here's some cookies, here's some donuts, here's, here for all you guys, I appreciate everything you guys do for all the dogs around here. Here's my little business card holder, my business cards. Do you mind putting this somewhere, to help me out here, and I'll refer people back to you if they ask, and, so that helped out a lot. It helped out a lot that I got to talk to a lot of them and talk to them about what they use to sanitize with. I use a product called 256 Top Performance 256 Disinfectant. 512 was a higher concentrate that I used to use. They don't want to make it no more, but it kills all your common dog stuff. So remember, you want to have sanitizer. You want to sanitize your equipment. Some people use bleach. Some people use Dawn. Everybody uses something different. I have found that this Top Performance 256 disinfectant seems to work the best. You spray it on there, wipe everything down. I spray it again and let it air dry. It's got different scents to it. You can buy it for a gallon of it. That's in super concentrate. The gallon is like $30. And then I'll make 256 gallons. It's about a half an ounce per gallon that you would mix into a bigger bottle. So I use a garden sprayer. I go through about a gallon a day just because I go heavy because I like the cherry smell. Scooping vehicles. Let's talk about vehicles. Everybody's like, truck. I get it. I went out and bought, after 3 years, I paid cash for a truck. I found a 16-year-old truck with 120,000 miles on it that was in okay condition. The body was clean on it. Still ran good. A whole lot. It's an F-150. It's a big V8. It's more than what I need. But, for me, I like it. I've still got, one of my people is in my Scion, my hatchback that I started with. Had a little Scion XB hatchback. Works fine. Just get a rubber, big rubber bin, good locking lids and a good seal, and you just put your poop in there. Everybody says trucks, 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 you know. Well, you just have to work on what your budget is. You know, save up, get yourself a truck if you want a truck. I'm not a big fan of it. I like it, but I don't. The cars get better gas mileage. The little small cars are easier to get in and out of alleys and in and out of people's driveways, and you know, better gas mileage and lower on insurance. So vehicle wise, you know, towards what your insurance is, you know, your insurance rates are going to be lower driving that, you know, and then, you know, a couple magnets, you know, I shopped around and I went local for my first big one on the back of my vehicle, and, you know, with the company name and all that stuff. And I've gone more of a drastic approach. If you go to facebook.com Derby Scoop or derbycitypoopscoop.com, you'll see some of the photos. I go wild colors now because it sticks out. I've noticed I've got a big, huge topper with a dog that's taking a poop with a guy behind it with a shovel. It's a pizza topper that I bought off Amazon, and that catches a lot of attention on that Scion that one of my employees runs daily. She runs it 5 days a week. So I can ramble on. If anybody's going to watch this, I doubt it. But if you do, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. Show me you watched it. You know, is it an easy job? In the beginning, yeah. The more accounts you get, the more tricky it gets. I mean, I've got 9 or 10. 9. One just left. I don't know. Yeah. But everybody's schedules, you know, you gotta keep everybody that works for you happy. And you gotta make sure you got the money coming in to be able to pay them. Because you don't pay them, they're not gonna run. All the laws in every state is all different. You're gonna find out people are gonna be like, nope, contracting is illegal. Oh, this is that, you know. All my contractors have their own business and they sub under me. So when I cut them their 1099s at the end of the year, it goes under their business name. So they run their own services. They have their own LLC and all that. And they get the work from me. So that's the way it stays legal here. People were like, well, you know, contractors are illegal and this and that. And I'm like, it's all in your law and how you really got to look into it. You know, some states it is. I think California or somewhere. I think anybody who does work for you has to be a W-2 employee, and you have to have insurance. You know, workman's comp insurance and all this other stuff. And that stuff gets expensive. You know, and I've got guys that I think 3 of them only work 1 day a week for me. They get a % of each job. I supply them the jobs. I supply them, you know, they use their phone, but it's the app. And so, I don't know. That's something you have to look into. But keep your day job or a night job and mark up the vehicle and tell everybody you know. People are going to tell you no. So, I'm going to end this and we'll talk about the no's on the next video.